Warner Brothers might be getting sold. The box office is on life support. Disney just pulled the plug on Tron, and apparently horror movies are the only thing keeping theaters alive. I'm Brody Hanson with Charlie Hickman and Tudong Dillon, and this is November's Punch List News, the show where we talk about movies, TV, geek culture, and all the wild chaos holding Hollywood together. So for our top story, Variety and The Hollywood Reporter are both confirming that Warner Brothers Discovery has officially started exploring a sale, with the studio behind Batman, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones could be changing hands again. And yes, I say again, and I know you're going to say, Brody, wait a minute. The one with Discovery was a merger. Well, we've got Zaslav at the head of it, so it seems like a purchase to me. And now he's just selling it off. So merger, for sale, whatever. But Zaslav is reportedly fielding offers and reviews, what they call strategic alternatives, which is corporate speak for please buy us before we run out of capes. A deal like this could completely shake up the DC universe, HBO, and pretty much half of Hollywood. So, guys, what do you guys think about this?
I think you should buy it.
I should buy it.
Like if Netflix buys it, like what does that mean for like the theater stuff? Like that's the most interesting angle for me. Netflix has been in like that smart acquisitions state of mind for a while.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of. Would we be getting some straight to Netflix like Batman 2 when it finally releases in like 2028? Would that be straight to Netflix?
I saw that Netflix was putting together kind of a proposal. I know that the new Skydance Paramount Group put together a proposal that was then rejected by Warner Brothers because they said that it was too low, but we'll see. They could come back. But I mean, right? It's Warner Brothers for sale again. Warner Brothers, we got what, over 100 years of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
It's like DC. We just got started with this James Gunn verse. How many times can Batman be rebooted?
I mean, okay, I'll be honest. I would then say, like, does that mean that what is it? Is it HBO? It's not Plus, right? Is it still HBO?
HBO Max. It is back to
Max,
HBO
right?
Max, yeah.
Does that just mean that HBO Max is going to merge with Netflix? Are they going to have two separate ones? Is it just going to be? Am I going to have to get Netflix again? I would probably
if Netflix buys it, yes, 100%. Netflix would tie in everything into Netflix.
I'll tell you this. I'm fine with it as long as things are. I mean, if I can't tell that it's happening, that's great. If they start trying to reboot the DCU, I mean, hey, I'm already like very close to just being like, yeah, I don't even care anymore. I don't even care anymore. But I mean, if it's Netflix, hopefully they give them their creative their stuff to keep following through with things. Because if you keep restarting things, people are going to get upset, and we're not going to want to watch it.
What would be you guys' preference? Netflix, Skydance, or Disney?
Oh, Disney.
Not Skydance. Anything but Skydance.
Not Skydance?
Not Skydance. I would love for it to consolidate into something that I already have a subscription for.
I have Disney Plus. That's perfect.
Just like, hey, just roll it right on in. Look, never thought we'd be here pining for the days of cable, but man, what if it was all just one price, even if it was a little bit more expensive, instead of having to get like 6 streaming services to watch everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of into the idea of Netflix, but Disney could be interesting too. Having Marvel and DC and the ability to do like a bunch of crossovers between the two, and like to be able to kind of pair those universes either in parallel or contrast or in community would be interesting. It would open up. I mean, there would be other issues besides just Disney owning Warner Brothers, obviously. But,
sure,
but it'd be fun.
Hey, you could bring back the amalgam universe from the 90s. Yes. Back where like Superman and Captain America were merged, and Wolverine and Batman. And
that's true.
Yeah, I have that. That's over on my shelf. Marvel versus DC.
If for nothing else than just good Lego content.
Ooh, there you go.
Yes. Now you're talking.
I mean, if it got sold, I wonder if we could maybe see some of those HBO Max projects that kind of vanished off the map, like my Westworld. No one can watch Westworld.
It's gone. It's hard to imagine anybody running it worse than how the HBO stuff is like. Like it's hard for me to fathom that like, Netflix would pick it up and just like, we made the Batman sequel, but then we thought, nah, we're just gonna shelve it. No one's shelved. Netflix hasn't shelved anything that we know of high publicity wise.
Good
I mean, Disney's pulling
Good
plugs
point.
on things left and right, but I mean, at least
Yeah, and I would be curious about the Disney one. I just don't know if the FCC would allow that. That's like,
yeah,
they just bought Fox not too long ago, and there was already like how big is this gonna be? And I don't know if they could buy it. And same thing with Skydance Paramount. Like Skydance just bought Paramount. Are they now going to be allowed to own an entire other studio? So I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm barely a business guy. So what do I know?
Skydance buys it. It's gonna be like Yellowstone Batman crossovers. It's gonna be like everything's on a ranch.
That could be cool.
It could be cool.
Everything's on a ranch.
We walked out of the rodeo. My parents were murdered right there in the pig slop. It could work.
So we'll see what happens. I don't see anything happening really for a while, but
yeah,
maybe there will be a big announcement, and then like next year something could actually happen.
Maybe this will make an appearance in our end of the year predictions show.
Ooh. Were there any predictions about Warner Brothers last year? I don't remember.
Not last year. 2 years ago, when Paramount was for sale, I predicted that it would not sell, and it didn't that year. So
that year.
Nailed it.
Year off. All right. Well, while studios are playing hot potato with billion-dollar brands, the ones still standing aren't exactly raking in the box office. So, according to Deadline and the Cinema Group, October's box office just hit a 27-year low, pulling in around $425 million. That's less than Avengers Endgame made in its first week. Analysts are calling it a box office massacre, as audiences keep skipping theaters for their couches and subscription bundles. So what do we think? Is it the prices? Is it the movies? Do we just have people that don't want to buy the expensive popcorn anymore?
If you've been watching this channel for a while, if you've watched any of our end of the year stuff, you know that basically all of my predictions are about the decline of the box. I've been talking about this for like 3 or 4 years. You guys are sick of me talking about this.
It's true.
This has been like so easy to see coming. Yeah, the world is more expensive. Everything is more expensive.
It is.
It's crazy how expensive it is. I love live sports. I think live sports is fantastic. Do I want to spend $100+ to take my family to a baseball game, or do I want to stay home and let them all do things they actually like? It's the movie. There's never been more ability to have, personalized entertainment options at your house where you're not and communal, quite frankly, things that you can gather around. TVs have never been better. Technology has never been better. And we are paying out the wazoo for all these streaming services.
Yes,
yeah, I don't want to spend $100+ to take my kids to a movie and cram into a little theater and then maybe, walk halfway through down an aisle to take one of them to the bathroom and excuse me all my way back through and pay $20 for freaking popcorn and a gross soda.
And the person 2 rows above you is on their phone, and talking. And
the person right in front of you is crinkling up freaking like cellophane or something. They don't know how to open a bag. They can't just open the freaking bag.
Like there's something to the communal experience, and I'm not going to deny that. There's a romance in the idea of the theater and going out to the theater, and that's great. And I think you will still see movies that are event or set like really centralized on like teens, like the anime movies this year, doing great. The Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, they did good. Horror movies in October where people want to go on dates or they want to go, be teens and be scared in a theater. The Minecraft movie with like where families can go together and watch a film. Like there are still going to be movies that find their niche, and maybe just in meme culture in general. Like when we had the Barbie Oppenheimer. And then like the Minecraft, the jockey, there'll still be things that like cut through, but like in general, it's dying. It's a dying medium. It's newspapers and in the like 2000s. I mean, come on.
I've got to say that, I mean, it's really funny. I see a lot like, you remember back like in the 80s, 90s and the aughts and all that kind of stuff. Like you go to a movie is terrible. and people still will go and watch it. Shockingly, nowadays, if it's good, then people will go. A lot of the times, people are not even realizing, like, we're getting some of the things because I mean they're not advertising. Like, there's really good. Sometimes there's really good stuff, and a lot of the movies, and people are like, "Oh, I don't get it. They're being so picky." And I'm like, "Well, since we have to pay so much, just like Charlie was highlighting, and if it's going to be terrible, we're really not going to support it anymore." That's the whole thing. People are like, "Oh, what do we got to do?" Hey, you know what? The movies that have really good writing, really good directing, acting, Sinners did great this year. They absolutely rock. Movies that people are doing really well with, like actually are creating art, they do well. The ones that don't, which has been the majority and now continue to be the majority, and people are like, "Oh, well, we're not going to pay these steep, ridiculous prices for this trash. Like, give us something good if we're gonna go out and do this. And if you're not, we're not gonna watch it." They're finally talking with their wallets. I have no clue why it took like 30 years for people to be like, "What? It's trash? Maybe I don't want to pay all this money to see it."
Yeah, and even to buy a movie, like I went and saw Superman in theaters because I really wanted to see it in theaters. And then a couple weeks later, I was looking and it was already available to buy, I know I'm paying
You
for
should
the
never say buy.
access
You
to
can't
it.
say buy.
I was able to buy it on Amazon Prime for like $20 though. And
Yeah.
I wanted to take my kids to the theaters. And even if I went on the discount Tuesday, I was still going to spend $35, or I can now buy it and watch it whenever for $20. And I was like, oh, I think I'm just going to buy it.
So here's our domestic top 10 so far. As we sit here at this date in October or November. Gosh, it's already November. Oh my gosh. We have a Minecraft movie, Runaway #1. Well, I should actually not really Runaway. Lilo and Stitch live action right on its heels, actually. Well, that's really close. Razor Thin. We got Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth, Sinners, Fantastic Four, How to Train Your Dragon, Captain America, Mission Impossible, and Thunderbolts. So we got like 4 superhero movies, like 4 kids movies or family movies, and then like a couple sequels, Mission Impossible and Jurassic World on IP. We got 1, Sinners, the only like real original film.
I mean, it's original and it's very high quality. I mean, you feel like Ryan Coogler is unbelievable, and they really
I thought
put
it was
time
all
into
right.
it. All of it. What?
No, but that's so fair, bro. I think there's 2 things that happen to us because we have movies that become like cultural phenomenon, and everyone in the world is telling us how great something is, and it's not a spoiler in terms of like the content of the film, but it spoils your expectations. So instead of a movie surprising you and catching you off guard and you going, "Wow, I wasn't expecting this to be great," you go in thinking, "Okay, this is the greatest movie of all time. Everyone's talking about it like it's the greatest movie," and you watch it and you can't help but feel a little bit let down because it can't possibly live up to these imaginary expectations that you've built up. There's just like you want to wait to hear if a movie's good, and then it gets that groundswell, and everyone's like, "It's great, it's great, it's great, it's the best movie you're ever gonna see," and you go watch it, and you're like, "Yeah, it was good, it was good, it's fine, it's fine."
Sure. What if they lowered prices? If they like drastically lowered prices, would that get like you guys like drastically? And they would have to. I mean, it's shocking.
Look, are they lowering prices and then also giving like? There used to be, it's gone now in my hometown. There used to be like a discount theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cheap, but you would go and there's like patches of the screen that don't work, and like the floor is extra sticky, and it's like it hasn't been like cleaned in 6 years. And so like, yeah, it's cheaper, but also like it's cheaper,
The experience isn't there. And
so,
by the time it gets there, it's practically on streaming.
Practically on streaming. Do I want to go sit on the sticky floors and look at the broken screen, or do I want to just wait a couple of weeks?
I mean, like, sucks that the streaming comes on. Like you can do this as it's still like in theaters. It really sucks that it does that. It gives us really no choice. And I say that oddly only because they're actually giving us another choice. But they're not giving us a choice because we're like, why would we do this? Like $20 versus $100?
And you think about like when we were kids, like, and it's a long time ago, but when we were kids, like parents would bring their kids to, like, I saw all sorts of movies I shouldn't have seen in theaters because my parents just wanted to go to the movies. They're like, "Okay, we're gonna drag you, we'll go watch, whatever," and just my kid will sit through this. I remember being at Watchmen. No, I wasn't a kid there, but there was a family behind me that had like a 9-year-old, and like that extended like sex scenes happening, and they're floating around, and I just feel like my cheeks are so. There's a kid behind me. They brought their kid to Watchmen. We have too many. We have so many entertainment options. My kids like movies, but if I gave them the choice, I'm like, all right, you can have 2.5 hours of screen time. Do you want to come with me to watch Superman in the theater, or do you want to watch YouTube?
Sure.
And they're 100% picking YouTube. Like, just I'd rather watch. The movie's fine, and if I tell them, if I don't give them the choice, I'm like, hey, we're going to the movie. They'll be like, yeah, that's great. It's not like they're number one. Like, oh, we got to go to the theater. Like, it's in their hierarchy of things they'd like to do, but it's not anywhere near the top. Like it was a big deal for me to go to a movie back when I was a kid. Everything at home sucked. It was like my sister watching MTV all day, and I just kind of like watching music videos, like, and then my parents be like, all right, now it's time for us to watch our adult shows, and it's like, all right, Saturday morning at 6 a.m. though, that belongs to me.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, we do need to move on. I think this is a topic that we will be chatting about more as time goes by.
Yes, sir.
Well, while one of the casualties of that slump might just be glowing neon and Daft Punk, or in this case, Nine Inch Nails, because Disney's latest sci-fi sequel didn't just underperform, it completely killed the franchise. So the Hollywood Reporter says that Disney's Tron Ares has officially bombed, barely scraping $180 million worldwide on a $250 million budget. Collider followed up with reports that Disney is now shelving the entire Tron franchise for the foreseeable future. That's tough news for fans, especially after more than a decade of waiting for a massive push to modernize the digital world. So here's my question. How does a movie this pretty and this unique still fail to connect? And did audience just never plug in, or was the franchise already outdated?
Two things that they did wrong. A, I didn't hear that the story was great in any possible way. And that goes right back to the writing. Guess what? Writers actually have to write something good. They can't just keep writing garbage. And two, for some reason, it's like Tron Ares. Do you know who played Ares, bro? That was Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
People are saying, like, is he done as like any sort of like as a lead character? And I'm like, when has he ever been a successful lead character?
He's been a lead. Successful, maybe not, but he has been a lead.
I'm sure he's been a lead, not successful. And I do not understand. How many times are people going to keep putting him in the lead just for it to bomb? And you know what? I have to say thank you, folks. When it was Morbius and like people decided to stick with their wallets, I was like, good. That's exactly the kind of thing in the 90s and the aughts. Oh, people would just go and watch. And they're like, this is terrible. Why are we watching it? And it somehow became a hit. But they didn't. Now they're talking with their wallets. If it's trash, people, you shouldn't go and watch it. Talk with your wallet. Say, hey, we want something better. So you know what? It goes right back to what it was saying. It's got to have better writing. And what the hey are they doing with Jared Leto again?
I was really confused on why they just didn't continue the story from Tron Legacy. So I really like Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
It's like a family favorite. Like my kids love it. And when I showed them the trailer, they were really excited because they thought that this was following up on Tron Legacy. And then I was like, no, it's like a different story. And they were like, oh, it's a story at the end of Tron Legacy, and then said, actually, we've got this whole different story to tell. And my interest in the movie like immediately flatlined because I was like, well, I don't really care now because I want to see what happened with,
Yeah.
Do you guys think that this would have done better if it was a Disney Plus exclusive?
No.
I mean, I probably would have watched it already. Then I did not go to the theaters for this. I'll admit that.
Doesn't seem like anybody did.
Like this, we're living in this weird time where it's all about like reboots and remakes and restarts and refreshes, IP this, IP that, IP freely. But it seems like instead of someone having like a really passionate idea for a movie, oftentimes they're like, what haven't we used in a while? What IP do we have? And like, all right, we got Tron. All right, somebody write it up. Let's go. And it just becomes like something done to like, I don't know, to just like a corporate version of it. Like instead of someone having like an idea, like a really great idea and starting and birthing from there, it's like, all right, we need a sequel to, I don't know, Herbie the Love Bug. We haven't touched Herbie since Lindsay Lohan. Like, someone write it up. And it just, we end up kind of with like, look, I haven't seen it, so this may be totally out of bounds, but just everything I've read about it, everything I've seen about it, just looks kind of soulless. And like, if I want to just watch a soulless movie to like kill an evening, I'll do that at home on streaming services, and I won't feel bad about it. I'm not going to go to the theater and rush out and see some soulless corporate film that just kind of is there to make money. I'm just not interested in it. And it's a shame.
The visuals looked cool.
They could do something really cool. Yeah, of course, sleek. That's like the definition of soulless, man. It looks good on the outside, shallow and no depth on the inside.
Sure.
But maybe it's great.
Just like
maybe it's
me.
great. Maybe I'm out of line. Brody, did you see this? Oh, you're beautiful everywhere, in and out.
I didn't see this. This is one that I was like, I can wait for Disney Plus for this one.
You are literally the biggest Tron fan that I've ever met.
Really?
Really?
You might be the only Tron fan I've ever met, but you are literally the biggest.
I do really like Tron Legacy, and
I know you do.
I loved Tron growing up.
I didn't know any of this, bro. I didn't know this.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
you know,
I
like
really
right,
enjoyed
like
it.
when it was coming out. I actually met Jeff Bridges. Did I ever tell you that? I got a
Did you
picture
really?
with him and everything. Yeah, I have a picture with him and everything. It was nuts, and he was telling me
Wait,
about
with the first Tron or Tron Legacy?
No, Tron Legacy. Tron Legacy.
Oh,
yeah, like we were all adults.
I thought you were going to say like you were 3 years old and you met Jeff Bridges when the original Tron came out.
This guy right here. No. This is a guy right here.
He had said like they had to convince people, like they had to convince the company to like do the sequel and all that. And he was saying like, yeah, you know, like we made a trailer for it, and I was just like, hey, that's nuts. I had no idea. Like they still had to convince people, and I was like, well, I mean, you guys. He's like, did you see that like teaser trailer? I was like, yeah. At the end, it featured you. Of course, it's gonna that's gonna do it. Like that would do it at any point in time if you were in it. And he like laughed. He was a really nice guy. I didn't know you were such a fan. Michael Sheen was horrible in it. Horrible. I don't know what he was doing.
It's interesting since you mentioned Jeff Bridges, because I did pass by a thing that I wanted to bring up where somebody asked him about Tron Ares not doing well. And he said, it's interesting how things can grow on you. Wait, no, that's the wrong quote. No, but it was pretty much like he was saying that everybody only really looks at like the first week's box office. Yeah, and he says, you know, it used to be, and he gave an example about an older movie that he did where it didn't do well at the box office, but then kind of became this kind of cult hit that people really enjoyed later on down the line. And he says, right now, you're just looking at the first week's box office and deciding kind of the fate of an entire movie based on that.
Which is nothing new. Like they've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. But yeah, I feel like it's gotten worse though. So
you know, Jared Leto made everybody on set call him Ares and not Jared Leto. And like the only person who didn't go along with it was Jeff Bridges, because he's like, hey, my character Flynn created this whole thing. I'll tell you what I want. And I was like, he's a beautiful man. I love that. He's like, not doing that horseradish.
All right. Well, while Disney's unplugging Tron, they're still hard at work finding new ways to beam franchises straight into our living rooms. So Deadline is reporting that Marvel's Fantastic Four First Steps is hitting Disney Plus on November 5th. I believe that's the day that this is coming out. So go watch Fantastic Four.
It's out.
After its theater run back in July, and Tech Reporter confirms that Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein lands on Netflix on November 7th, following a very short theatrical window. I think it's still there, but it's been very short. So the takeaway isn't straight to streaming. It's that big budget geek titles are moving to streaming services faster after theaters, tightening that window and training fans to wait. So is this a smart hybrid to do the big screen first and then quickly going on to streaming? Or are we accidentally teaching people to just skip theaters altogether because they know that it's going to come to streaming so quickly?
I say number 2 on that one. Yeah, second part.
But you're always going to have the people that really enjoy the theaters, and I have some friends who are like, I want to support the theaters. I'm going to go, because we were talking about Frankenstein. Actually, they went and saw it in theaters, and I was like, yeah, I heard it's coming to Netflix here really soon, and they're like, oh, but you should go see it in theaters. And I was like, yeah,
How
but
many
I can
people did this?
also.
How many?
It's a couple.
When you say a couple, is that like
Brody
a
lives in a
married
wealthy
couple?
neighborhood with wealthy friends. It's okay.
No,
they're
it's
affluent.
my
They
my
can
friends'
finance.
kids who don't have kids of their own and can just they just have to have
Those were the days. The disposable income.
disposable income, no kids, just
I remember being young and thinking, you know what? These big budget studios, they need my help. They need my $15 for a ticket here. I'm going to go support the little guy and go see Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein in the theater. He needs my help. I like you know what I'm going to say, which is bring it to streaming right away. Let's just cut out the middleman. Look, back in the day, it was streaming, or I mean, theater, and then it was like we got to get a buffer so it can come out on DVD, and then finally we'll bring it to streaming. And now we're kind of skipping the middleman. I think that's plenty long to wait. If you wait too long, people forget that it exists.
That's
Especially something in like the MCU. It's like if Thunderbolts was just coming out to streaming after like they released Fantastic Four, and you're like, well, wait, not should I just skip that then, or do I? It's like it's just too all interconnected. You got to get that. You got to pump that out to streaming fast. Keep it in people's minds.
What do you guys think the sweet spot is? 30 days? 45 days?
I'll tell you, the sweet spot would have been having Frankenstein on Netflix for Halloween would have been the sweet spot, and not like racing it to streaming for just in time for Thanksgiving. But whatever.
Just in time for my birthday.
Little Santa hat on him and hello.
Merry Christmas.
So what? You think like simultaneous? Like you want it to just, or you don't care about theaters at all?
It's not my money, so it's easy for me to be cavalier about it and say, yeah, like just give people up. If people want to go see it in the theaters, if it's important to them to go see it in the theaters, go see it. Look, K-pop Demon Hunters is a runaway hit on Netflix, and because it was so popular, they put it in theaters.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. That's a really good point.
Like it's like if a movie is good, if enough people watch, like you want exposure, you want people to see it. Maybe people will be more excited to go. If I saw Tron Ares on Disney Plus and I'm like, man, what a good film, and it's beautiful. I'd love to go see that in theaters because it's so pretty. Like that's it can work in reverse too. I mean,
it's true.
Look, theaters are going to have to get creative because the old ways of doing it is not going to cut it. And yeah, like maybe you're training people to wait, but also like people aren't dumb. They know what's happening.
Sure.
They're gonna wait, and if you're waiting, then you're always like it's like the old days when like the place, like technology, right? Like I'll buy one generation behind on a cell phone, and then I'm still always getting something new, but I'm never paying market price for it or whatever back like we do back in the day. It's like, oh yeah, I just got a brand new phone. It's awesome. It's exciting to me, and a year from now I'll get another brand new phone. It'll be exciting. And now I have had this same phone for like 6 years, but I'm an old miser now who doesn't. I got to hang on to my money where I can. But you get the idea, right? If I wait and see Thunderbolts on streaming, I watch Thunderbolts. It's brand new, and then now now Fantastic Four is here. Great, and then now I can wait until the next one. Something always new and exciting. It's great.
It's also kind of difficult, like when you say like, oh, support theaters and all that kind of thing. They don't really. I mean, why? I love the experience and I love the medium, but those places, they don't care, dude. Like if they cared, they would sit there and be like, hey, maybe we should dial back the prices instead of dialing way up as hard as we can. Maybe we'll try.
But
that's
and also the studio.
Better.
Yeah, the studio is
it's the studio really like, that's doing those prices.
I understand it's also the studio. All I'm saying is you're like, hey, you're talking about people who want to support theaters and they all of this stuff because they really care. Let's help out the theaters. Theaters are not doing that to us though. They're not. Yes, you're right. The studios aren't either. But I mean, it's difficult to be upset at this medium when they don't exactly seem to care. Like the studios are still involved with streaming, and streaming is just fine. Like it's not like we're getting overcharged like we are at movie theaters.
I mean, like, what was it? Warner Brothers is like, hey, we don't have money, and meanwhile, David Zaslav's in 2024, his pay package was like 51.9 million for the year. It's like his salary is going to outpace the budget of films that they're trying to put out there. It is crazy. If we just like cut that guy's, I mean, that I'm sure he's like $52 million really good at his job. But I think we could probably take some money off the top of the CEOs of these huge movie studio companies and other companies, and then funnel that savings instead of taking it. Anyway, we don't need to turn it into that. But I'm just saying, there's money to be had in ways that are make far more sense, that everybody wins except for maybe like the one really, really rich dude, and that's okay.
Sure.
He can lose for one time.
Completely. If they're going to get paid, they're going to pay themselves this much. Maybe they should try and actually get quality products instead of just a bunch of crap. It's become such a. I mean, like, the last thing that people do nowadays is have a script when they're actually trying to like make a movie. They'll sit there and they'll just waste money, they'll waste time, and they'll do all this kind of stuff without even a script. And people, that used to be like, oh, we don't have a script. Oh, that's nuts. Like, people aren't doing it that way. And now they're doing it left and right. They're like, we don't need to do anything like this. What are you talking about quality? If we just have all sorts of stunts or this or that.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. We went through that with Daredevil, where they're like firing directors halfway through and re-recording parts of episodes. And, you know, even like the Thunderbolt script, it's amazing how many times you read the trivia and it's for a movie and it's like, oh yeah, we brought in this guy to completely revamp the script, and this character thought she was going to live and then be a big part of that, and then found out like later that she dies.
She's
like
watching
the first, like, oh, that's fun. I didn't know that happened. You know, like, how do they not have scripts?
Yeah,
no plan.
I guess James Gunn is, because he's a writer and kind of came from a bit more of the creative side. He is big on scripts, and he's saying, you know, that they'll have an idea, but he's not going to like let anything get approved unless it has a script. That's how Clayface came about. Is like somebody showed up with a really good script, and it like wasn't on his radar, but he's like, this is a good script, and this is something I want to run with.
Yeah,
I do too. Fantastic.
Cool. All right. Well, while capes and classics sprint to our couch, the only thing sprinting to theaters and winning right now is horror. So, according to the AP News and Bloody Disgusting, the only movie actually turning a profit right now are the scary ones. The Black Phone 2 opens strong, and other low-budget horror flicks keep outpacing superhero blockbuster. It's the golden rule of horror: small budgets, big screams, massive returns. Blumhouse must be swimming in fake blood and real money right now. So what is it about horror that always cuts through? Is it the creativity? Is it the cheap thrills? Or maybe it's just the cheap dates? Or maybe it's just that it's October and people want scary movies. Is that it? I mean, maybe.
I don't know if it's that deep, but yeah, like I think it's October. People want to be scared. Knott's Berry Farm season pass where I live is about like $100 for the whole year, but you have to buy a whole separate pass if you want to do Knott's Scary Farm, which is like another like $90 or $80. It's like almost as much as the entire, and people buy it because they want to go be scared in October. It's a fun time of year to go out there to go see. Hey, by the way, the new Final Destination, good.
Yeah,
good. The movie.
It was one of the best of the franchise. Good, which, you know, who knew you could do that? I didn't know they were allowed to do that.
That's true. It's very true.
But weapons and like Sinners, if you want to call that like a horror movie, I mean,
that's horror.
Like, these are good movies. I think that, you know, The Conjuring did well. I think I've heard that's pretty bad. I haven't seen the last rites, but yeah, people want to be scared, and so I think if you're more willing to go to a movie that you don't know will be good when it serves a functional purpose, like it's Halloween and I want to be scared, so I'm going to go see a horror movie, and even if it's bad, it will still serve the basic functional purpose that I want it to serve.
Not only that, but I mean, a lot of times they don't put nearly as much money into horror movies as they do almost any other kind of movie. Like, you sit there and you see, like, with the Lone Rangers, like $200 million. If they were to, yeah, exactly. It's like a cowboy movie. But then you have movies like Weapons. How much was that? Was that 20 million? Was it 30, 40? It couldn't have been more than that. And I mean, you've got even some of the ones that are really supposed to be like legacy movies. Nightmare on Elm Street, like Friday the 13th, Halloween. How much did those cost? Even those last three that came out. Those are my like least favorite out of those three. But I mean, they put in less money, they put in a lot of time and effort, and I mean, it makes a lot of sense why horror is doing that, and it's funny because I mean, like people say, like it's easier for scares than it is like to write comedy, and it makes a lot of sense. Like you got to have a lot of creativity, but when you have a movie that's got some cheap thrills in it, I mean, if you guys go back and watch the first Friday the 13th, if you see the first 8 Friday the 13th, you're not sitting there like they put lots of time into this script. No, that's not it at all. But I mean, they put a lot of time into the scares. It's like, I mean, it's a whole different beast. When you've got dramas and comedies, people, they don't want to go to a movie theater because they're like, maybe it'll be funny, maybe it'll be dramatic, and it'll something like that. But you know, like you're gonna get something from a horror movie. Sucks when when it's not scary. That really does.
It's fun. Yeah, bro, you're about to say something intelligent though. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was going to say Weapons had a $38 million budget and grossed $268 million. So $268 million for most movies is like, oh man, what a flop.
Yeah.
But when you've got a budget of $38 million, you're like, oh, okay, that movie did really well. But yeah,
I think there's some being in the theater for a comedy is fun because it's fun to laugh with other people. But like also like being at home to watch a horror movie is fun, but it's like also a little scarier. So like if you're someone who doesn't love horror movies but like wants to be scared, like it's way better in public. Like to be like in a group, like a bunch of people, and you hear everybody gasp at the same time. People let out some screams. Like just more communal, and then afterwards you're not alone. You're out. You're with friends or on a date or something. Like it's a different experience than like poor Brody shutting all the doors and windows and watching his first Conjuring film and then hearing every creak in the house going, oh God, it's a Conjuring.
That's exactly how it would happen too. All right. Well, let's go ahead and recap. So studios are for sale. Theaters are empty. Tron is toast and horror's the new king. Basically, Hollywood's a haunted house run by accountants. So
hey, all right, there we go.
Hey, there's also they people who write the scripts, really creative people. Come on, they cut through, man. They cut through. Like Oppenheimer. Who would have thought that would have made any money?
Christopher Nolan,
right?
directed it.
It's Christopher Nolan. That's how it makes money. It's Christopher.
If you would have heard anybody else was directing that, would you have even bothered to see it? Because I certainly wouldn't have.
Nope. It's not like I'm rushing out to see Springsteen.
Christopher Nolan didn't direct that?
No, I don't think so. No, he didn't. All right. Well, that is November's punch list news. What story brought your mind? Oh, I'm sorry. Which story blew your mind this month? The Warner Brothers sale, the Tron meltdown, or horror's big win? Let us know down in the comments. And bonus points if you can pitch a Tron 3 that actually makes money. Actually, I guess it would be Tron 4. I messed up my script. I'm sorry. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We'll be back with more movie talk, TV talk, geek talk, and always with a punch. We'll talk to you guys later.